Panthers live to fight again. We have survived Game 5 in overtime, and we have forced Game 6. The series is now 3-2 instead of 4-1 or 3-1. It is now 3-2 because of the Florida Panthers win in Game 5. And how do they do it? Let's find out. So, obviously, let's put it this way. Taking penalties is still a problem, especially early on, where we have given up already a couple of penalties. But the defense was actually pretty good for the most part. And then Duclair from the loose puck actually puts one to the back of the net. So Anthony Duclair gets his first playoff goal of this season. And we have lead 1-0 to the first period, and then we go to the second period. The penalty that we give up is a big one too, because Brad Marchand, once again, fourth playoff goal of the series. Fourth. There's no answers against Marchand at all. That's a power play goal. And we had a lot of situations where we could have got the puck into the back of the net, but there was not too many. There was not much going on in the second period. But then near the end of the second period, Sam Bennett hits one to the back of the net. Well, that's his third of this playoff series, and we have lead it 2-1. So third period, where it's another penalty given up, and this was a bad call. I'm sorry to say it was a tough call to make. And guess who scored that goal? It was Bergeron, the returning Bergeron, to tie the game up 2-2. But guess what? We also have our power play, and it's our first one of the game. And guess who scored that one? It was Samson Reinhart. Power play goal, second one of this playoff series. So maybe something's improving compared to last season. I don't know. I digress. But guess who gets the assist? Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov. Alexander Barkov actually got a point in this series. So thankfully for that. What I realized in this series, in this game alone, Ekblad became a liability for us, but in the end, it really doesn't matter, right? A few minutes later, Taylor Hall ties the game up. I was pissed off. At the same time Taylor Hall ties the game up, the Marlins blew a 4-0 lead. So I'm in the pissed off mood at that point. Now, during the remaining of that game, there were some questionable referee decisions, especially the non-call where McAvoy seemingly slashed Sam Bennett in front of the linesman. In front of a linesman. There was no call. It happened right in front of a linesman. No call. We could have had a power play right there and possibly win it, or possibly lose it. I don't know. That would have dictated everything, but it didn't. It wasn't meant to be. Now, one player I want to mention is remember Alex Lyon? So we all thought he was the goaltender for us, but we forget about Bobrovsky. And for this one, Bobrovsky makes a save of the season, because what happened was near the end of the third period, Marchand actually had a breakaway, and with 0.6 seconds left of the clock, Bobrovsky makes a save of the season. Save of the season from Marchand. That would have been the second goal of the game and a season killer goal. But instead, Bobrovsky saves it and forces overtime. And in overtime, only one goal, and you win. If we lose, it's over. If we win, we force Game 6 to go play again in Florida. So, a few situations for us, and we needed to get that goal in. And we have given a gift. And the gift was Olmark from the Boston Bruins goalie. Remember this. In the last game, Tkachuk and Olmark had a confrontation, and it got physical, where 3 Boston players were actually ganging up on Tkachuk, were beating him up, including Olmark. Here's the kicker here. Olmark makes a game-deciding mistake. He turns the puck over to Tkachuk, or Verhaeghe, actually. He turns the puck over to Verhaeghe, and Verhaeghe passed to Tkachuk on a wide open side of the right side of the net, and Tkachuk scores an overtime goal in Game 5 to force Game 6. We have lived to fight again. Panthers live to fight again. And honestly, thankfully, we still have some hockey left. We play again Friday night at 7:30 against Boston. I hope we somehow pull this off on the miracle upset. I don't know. It's still my mind is still racing all over the place on this. But, man, Bobrovsky makes a clutch save. Tkachuk makes a clutch goal. And now we go back home to Florida in Game 6. And I'm worried about that because knowing that Bergeron is back, knowing that we have not won a game at home in this year's playoffs, it's concerning. A little bit frustrating the little bit of frustration was, if we could beat a fully healthy Boston Bruins, why couldn't we capitalize on the other 2 games in Florida? You see the issue here? We could have taken advantage of the opportunity. We could have used this game and win it and move on to the second round again to play either Maple Leafs or Tampa. But no, we're in this scenario, and that's fine. We cannot make mistakes. There was plenty of defensive mistakes in this game, like Montour, where he actually got hurt in one of the plays. I think it was the Taylor Hall goal that Montour had an accidental play, and that the puck went to the back of the net, and he got hurt in that play. But in the end, Florida still wins this game in Boston, which is insane to think about. So what we need to do, we need to win at home and force Game 7 and try to make this similar game like this tonight to try to move on, it's scary to think about, and let's see what happens. I'll be back tonight for a Heat recap. I hope we somehow pull this through and win Game 5 to advance against the Knicks. We'll talk about that tonight with the Miami Heat. So that's going to do it for this video, folks. If you have liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, because Miami TVG has it back. And when he does, he'll be right there with you for the entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG signing off, folks. Good night, everybody.